In Psalm 37, King David said, I once was young, but now I'm old, and I've never seen the righteous forsaken or God's seed begging for bread. My name is Dr. Bill Payne, and I am the pastor of First Methodist Church in Live Oak. What David said to us qualifies as wisdom literature because David was an old man and he was looking back on his life with perspective. He was able to see from the point of view of his old age what he was unable to see when he was young. That's called wisdom. When I was a young man, I was greatly influenced by my Boy Scout experience, and my Boy Scout troop liked to canoe down the Swanee River mostly every summer. And I had the pleasure of canoeing down the Swanee River when the current was fast and the water was high and the stream just pushed you fast, and it was easy to reach your daily destination. Equally, I had the pleasure of enjoying the Swanee River when the water level was low and the current was slow. But on those days, you had to paddle hard to meet your destination. Let me tell you the distinction. When the current was high and fast, it was easy to paddle, but the great springs that made canoeing on the Swanee River such a wonderful experience were clogged up and they didn't flow. So there were no springs to play in. And it was very difficult to find a place to camp along the side of the river because the water was too high. And when it gets into flood stage, there's almost no place to camp along the side of the river. And I've been in the Delta area after you leave Manatee Springs and have not been able to find a single place to camp until we got all the way to Cedar Key. Yes, the water went fast, but it wasn't very fun. You canoed and you paddled, but you didn't have any enjoyment. In order to eat, you had to tie your canoes together and eat in the canoes. You slept in the canoes. What fun was that? You see, reaching the destination is not the ultimate objective when you're canoeing down the Swanee River. Going slow, enjoying the banks, walking along the river, playing in the springs, going down into the different areas to explore. That's what makes a trip along the Swanee River special. In Philippians 4, Paul tells us to rejoice in the Lord always. During my life, there were long periods of time where I worked very hard. Before I came here to Live Oak, I pastored two churches and was a full-time professor at Ashland Theological Seminary. And while I was being a full-time professor, I was writing books, writing articles, and teaching my classes and doing all the work associated with leading two churches. And my churches were doing quite well. I didn't have any time to myself or to my family. And having time with my wife and my family is very important. And that's one of the reasons I believe that God led us to come to pastor this wonderful church here in Live Oak. Life is more important than merely achieving goals and working hard to knock out as much as you can, writing so many articles every year, attending academic conferences. There were years in which I researched and presented 3 or 4 papers at an academic conference and published that many in peer-reviewed journals. I was always working. There was never a time just to be on my own with my wife and enjoy life. I'd come home at nighttime and there was always work to do. until I went to bed. David says, I once was young and now I'm old. Next month, I'm going to be 65. From the perspective of the global population, I am in the top 10 percentile of age. That makes me old. I am older than 9 out of 10 people in the world today. And age not only has its perspective, it also has its advantage. I know that God wants me to slow down and smell the roses. God wants me to take more time just to spend in his presence and live life, not as if I were running a race trying to check off boxes on my list of things to do, but God wants me to spend time with those things that are most important and enjoy the life that he has given me. I hope that you will consider my words. And if you have been like me and have spent your life running after one objective after another, that you will stop and ask yourself, what is the most important part of your life? And what is it that God mostly wants you to do? May God bless you and may God give you his grace as you run this life together. Rejoice in the Lord always. Have fun with your day. God bless you.